Yeah. Yeah. Coach T and Damon V talking about game. Better watch your weight, better stay in your lane. Talking about flexing, talking about strength. Talking about fighting when they get intense. Talking about life and they don't pretend. Coming up with plans and trying to win. Coach T and Damon V, straight from the boot. Better tune in, better come get your scoop. Ooh-wee.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Coach T and, used to be Damon V podcast. It is still called the Coach T and Damon V podcast, episode 6. But my colleague, partner, my guy, Coach Damon's not here today. So I'll be doing this solo, man. I tried to get a couple people on Sunday. It didn't work out. Last minute. I'm recording this Wednesday night before you guys get it on Thursday. So try to get a couple people on with some of my buddies, but nothing worked out. Nothing came through. So here I am by myself, trying to drive the ship, man. Trying to drive the ship. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna try to probably change things up today. I'm gonna just talk sports really. Lay off the nutrition a little bit. And just kind of talk about what's been going on maybe at the gym or in sports in general. If you know me, I'm a big time sports guy, so we'll talk about that. So 2 weeks has been going by. What has changed? Well, if you know me, I'm a big LSU fan, and the LSU Tigers lost. I knew it'd be a tough game against Florida. We played Florida this past weekend, and took a tough L, man. Florida has a very good defense, which I was fully aware of, and our offense struggles. We have a great defense, their offense struggles. So I knew it'd be a defensive battle, but man, they prevailed. They were at home, a little home field advantage helps them in a way, But yeah, man, it kind of sucks. We coming into the season, nobody really expected LSU to be a really great team. Everybody was projected maybe a 7-5 record. So we've surpassed those goals. I feel like we're having 2 top 10 wins. But man, losing to Florida just stinks, man. Because this week it doesn't get any easier. We have Georgia, number 2 ranked Georgia. In about 3 or 4 weeks time, we have Alabama, number 1 Alabama coming to Baton Rouge. So we have Georgia, Mississippi State. We have a bye to get ready for Alabama. In about a span of 4 weeks, we face two top 3 teams. So it's not going to be easy, which we all knew, right? So, but the good thing for us is that these 2 games, Georgia and Alabama, face the number 1 team and the number 2 team, they're both at home. So, I mean, I would say that definitely favors us. That gives us a pretty good advantage in that aspect of things, because coming to Death Valley is not easy. You can ask anybody, right? But I don't like the fact that Georgia is a day game. It is at 2:30, so I'm not a big fan of those 2:30 games. LSU's known to struggle during day games for some reason, something about those day games that just don't quite go as planned. But facing the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs, we'll see what happens. Not getting my hopes up at all. Just hoping we can compete. Our defense plays well. Our offense can score when they need to. I feel Joe Burrow, our quarterback, he's done well. He's managed the game, right? And any successful LSU team we've had in the past, we just had managers of the game. You look at Matt Malk, 2003 when we won the national championship. Nothing special, nothing flashy, right? 2009 with Matt Flynn. Nothing flashy, nothing special, just good game manager. And I feel like Joe Burrow does a great job of that as well. So that's promising. We have him for 2 years, so that's really good. So excited about this weekend's matchup. I'm thinking about going, not quite sure yet, but I'm definitely going next weekend to the Mississippi State game. So if any of you guys are out there, holla at your boy. I'll be out there. Hopefully, not too intoxicated. Man, I had a rough weekend this weekend, dude. So not only my Saturday went like this, guys. Wake up. LSU had an early game. I forgot what I did. Oh, I definitely went to work out Saturday at Reds. But Alex had to work, so that sucked for her. Then comes 2:30, LSU game comes on. I watch that. We all know what happens there, right? We lose to freaking Florida. Sucks, man. I'm still getting over it. So I'm like, okay, that sucks. I put 2 bets on the Conor McGregor fight that Conor would win by knockout, a prop bet, and then a straight up bet that he would win, just win, right? Which were 2 good, almost plus 200 bets. So winning a good chunk of change there. So I was like, you know what, that really sucks, but my boy Conor is fighting tonight against Khabib Nurmagomedov, and all is well. So we get ready for that. Go to my buddy and heavyweight fighter out of the gym, Michael Stahl's house. And of course, if you've watched the TV since Saturday, you know that Conor McGregor did indeed lose by submission to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Man, and then the melee after, dude, I had a terrible Saturday. My boy, man, Conor's my guy, man. I wasn't a big fan of his at first, especially when he was coming up, talking a lot of smack, how he does, and then Dustin, our hometown boy, Dustin Poirier, fought him. So I was definitely rooting for Dustin there. And then once that Dustin Poirier fight happened, and I know how great Dustin is, I was like, man, this guy, he might be somebody, he can back up the talk that he's talking, right? So from then on, I've been a huge Conor fan, just because, like I said, he can talk the talk and walk the walk, which is pretty impressive at that level, at the highest level of mixed martial arts. So became a huge fan of his, and he took a 2-year layoff, had a boxing fight. Man, he's got so much going on, more money than God. He's just has baby number 2 on the way. Already has a kid. He just had a kid in the last 2 years, so he has a lot on his plate. Comes in, tries to fight the possibly number one pound for pound fighter in the world, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, number 1 lightweight, 26-0, big time rushing guy, heavy wrestler, the typical wrestler that just grounds and pounds and drains on you. So everybody knew it'd be a tough fight. Everybody thought it would either be a quick knockout, like I did, in Conor's favor, or a ground and pound, wear you out wrestling match, to go the distance or close to it, definitely in the championship rounds, which it did. Round 4, Khabib wore Conor out and got the submission. But I was talking to a lot of people about it, just trying to hold any bias aside and just being so disappointed in the fight. But I was really just disappointed in Conor's performance, man. Like any Conor fight I've ever watched, even when he lost to Nate Diaz, even when he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he's looked decent. Like, he's looked great. If you watched Nate Diaz fight 1 with Conor McGregor, dude, like, Conor was smoking him. Like he looked amazing, like normal Conor McGregor stuff. But just Nate Diaz is a savage zombie. Fought through it and kind of rocked Conor in the second round. But it was an awesome fight, like entertaining. Like, both guys performed at the highest level, right? In the Floyd fight, I thought Conor looked pretty dang good. Like, you can say what you want. A lot of people don't like him. Trying to hold all bias aside, but I mean, he held his own. I mean, granted, people say Floyd was playing with him, whether he was or not. Like, Conor held his own for 10 rounds they went, something like that, 12, I don't know. So, but this fight, man, like, he came out and just didn't look right. Now, granted, Khabib did go for a takedown within like 15 seconds of the fight. So Conor was, taken out of his game right from the get-go, but he did defend it well. Like, he looked great. I was like, dang, this is good. Like, he must have obviously trained for it. The takedown, everybody knows it's coming. So, but he just didn't look right, man. So something was off. I don't know what it was. I don't know if he didn't feel confident in there. I don't know if it looked like that. But, like, even the stand-up, Khabib rocked him, dude. Like, he sat Conor down. Conor did recover really quickly. Hurry up, got up, scrambled up, threw a flying knee. They started engaging, But the fact that Khabib caught him, that was a pretty slick. You have to watch the clip, man. It was a pretty slick overhand right too. He faked the takedown, and obviously Conor kind of bit on it and ate a huge overhand right. So great, good thing Conor has a great chin. He ate that pretty well, but just not the performance I think Conor fans are looking for. Obviously, and it's his coaches, his team, and anybody else in his camp. Probably just pretty disappointed with that fight, you know, and rightfully so. Then after, dude. So if you're the one person that didn't see the after the fight, Khabib stops Conor, right, with the submission, neck crank. People are saying it's the rear naked choke, but obviously he had his chin tucked and he was crushing his chin. Funny story about that, real quick. Monday night in Nogi, Coach Damon hates Conor, loves Khabib, and we did some Nogi training, and dude almost caught him with an armbar. He will admit that right from the get-go. Me and Coach Damon are going at it, and right before, I don't know how long the round was, 4 minutes maybe. Right at the end, dude, he gets me with the same submission, and like obviously I could tell he was going for it within that, you know, right before that the time ran out. I was trying to survive the round because I was gone, you know. I could tell I was already out of there, but he got the neck crank, the exact same submission Khabib submitted Conor with at the freaking bell. Coach Damon got me with it, dude, and I just looked at him out loud. I said, how ironic. You freaking got me with the same thing. It was pretty funny. But, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so round 4, the submission happened, Khabib won, throws his mouthpiece in Conor's corner, and right away, I think him and Dylan Dennis is Conor's jiu-jitsu coach, were jawing at it, and freaking Khabib jumps over the cage, which we've seen before. Conor's done it. We've seen guys jump the cage. It happened early in the night. They jump the cage, celebrate with their team. Obviously, you're not supposed to do it, but he jumps the cage and immediately attacks Dylan Dennis. Does the eagle jump. It's an iconic picture that will go on forever. You have to look it up online. Khabib Nurmagomedov jumping. His nickname is the Eagle, and he looked like an eagle ready to pounce on his prey. So that was going on, a melee outside of the cage, while Conor and McGregor's in the inside of the cage. They had some extra footage that nobody really saw. But everybody's feeling bad for Conor, but actually, after Khabib jumps the cage, Conor gets on top of the cage, and there's a Russian guy in Khabib's camp on top of the cage as well. Conor throws a left hook in the jaw, and from there, Conor falls to the canvas. Not falls, but he catches his feet. He's on his feet in the canvas, in the octagon, and 2 guys jump in and start sneaking him, throwing shots at McGregor from behind. And everybody felt bad for McGregor. Oh, they're throwing at him. He's exhausted. But dude, Conor did throw the first shot. But either way, in my opinion, everybody's to fault in this situation. From April, I like how Ariel Helwani said it on his podcast, from April to now, for the whole build-up for the fight, the April being the incident with Conor McGregor throwing the Dale through the bus and all that type of stuff that they hyped the fight with. From then till now, everybody's to blame. Khabib's to blame for that incident, obviously jumping over the cage and doing what he did. Conor's to blame for all the things he did, all the things he said. Everybody's to blame, man. So it's not a good look for the UFC, but hey, it was entertaining for me. I'm just keeping it real. Like that was pretty cool to see. Like obviously you don't want to get the fans involved, which they didn't, thank God. Nothing really happened. I mean, nobody really got hurt, right? Nothing really happened. So I thought it was pretty entertaining, but I was pretty upset. I must say, pretty upset that how it went down and how Conor lost. So to end my night, LSU loses, Conor loses. And the fact that he loses with probably the biggest pay-per-view of all time, all the eyes on him, all the hype, he loses. I lose my bets, lost money. And on top of that, I'm gonna admit it, guys, I'm not perfect. I got tore up Saturday night on some Tito's and water. I told you guys, Tito's and water with some flavoring is my thing, man. But maybe had a few too many. Woke up Sunday feeling like death. I recovered quickly, but I slept till 11 a.m., which never happens. But yeah, Sunday was okay. Fantasy football, won pretty much all my games. I think I lost one game out of 5. I'm in 5 different leagues. I'm on top of fantasy football like I don't know. But I'm on top of things, obviously. So I won 4 out of 5 games on fantasy football. That was looking great. Monday night, Saints win. Drew Brees breaks the record. It was a fantastic show. A fantastic game. Actually walked after training Nogi Monday night. I walked in the door. I can't make this up. Literally walked in the door. Alex already had the game on, the Saints game on Monday night. Turned around. First play, Drew Brees breaks the record with a 60-something yard touchdown pass. He broke the all-time passing yards record. He's has the most passing yards in NFL history. Pretty crazy. Just a great guy, man. Watching him interact with the family, his family and stuff, gave me chills. I'm not the biggest Saints fan, but I mean, if they win, it's cool. You know, I'm indifferent. You know, I'm a Players fan, so I like different certain players. If they go to LSU and they go to the NFL, I'm a huge fan of that. But I like Drew Brees, man. Just a super great, humble guy. Never hear about him in the news, anything bad, you know. So it's good to see something good happen to a good guy, right? It's always good to see that. Also, something cool going down at the gym right now is the Biggest Loser 1. If you don't know what that is, I know a lot of our listeners are participating in the Biggest Loser 1, which is freaking awesome. And I'm so proud of you guys. I think we had 28 people sign up for the Biggest Loser competition. It's supposed to be like 20 or 25. But somehow we ended up with 28. So many people wanted to join and change their life, which is pretty cool. So Tuesday night we had all of our people in the Biggest Loser weigh in. So what the Biggest Loser is a competition for 6 weeks. It's a 6-week competition, our challenge for these individuals that signed up to lose the most body fat percentage over the 6-week period. And in doing so, you win, $200 Amazon gift card, prizes, all kind of prizes. We're giving out prizes like crazy. Like candy on Halloween, we're just giving out prizes. But prize for this, prize for that. Like the person who shows up the most to the most classes in 6 weeks gets a prize. The person we call the MVP, most valuable participant or something like that, they get a prize. The person obviously who wins the competition, the challenge, gets the biggest prize. But it's pretty rewarding to help these individuals change their life. And literally, it's a 6-week challenge that can start a lot of these people off into changing their life for years to come down the road, you know, losing tons of weight and body fat, right? So we have that going down at the gym. Pretty cool. Shout out to, Jay Repstock, man. Shout out, dude. So speaking of Tito's, I was talking earlier how I got plastered Saturday night. He's doing the Biggest Loser 1 competition. He told me he listens to the podcast, so that's freaking awesome. I'm gonna give you a shout out tonight, man. And he also wanted us, me and Coach Zeman, to try some new Kettle One vodka. I think the flavor was, I've never seen it before. He said it just came out, and dude, it looks amazing. The flavor is cucumber and mint flavor, I believe. That could be, it's cucumber and something. But dude, I can't wait to try that, man. I'm looking forward to that. Don't think I forgot, man. Definitely want to try that out. So definitely hit me up when you get a bottle of that. And so we got the Biggest Loser 1 going down for the next 6 weeks. I'm sure we'll be talking plenty about that. Coach Damon, that's his baby, so I'm sure he'll bring it up on the next podcast. I didn't even tell y'all why Coach Damon's out, right? Dude, I've got so much on my mind. So Coach Damon is out. He's in Washington, D.C. on his monthly or bi-monthly trip to Washington, D.C. It just so happened to be on a podcast week for his, I don't know if it's a disease. I never want to say what it is because I don't know the exact terminology or the exact thing it is, but we've talked about it before on the podcast. So yeah, he's in D.C. for that. Try different medicines out there. He's basically a guinea pig for that. I don't know what it's called, so I'm not gonna act like I do. But I'm looking at that Kettle One flavor right now. But yeah, so Coach Damon's out. That's why he's not on the podcast. I guess I should have said that from the get-go. If I did, I don't remember. Short-term memory loss, guys. Oh yeah, cucumber mint. It's one of the first things that pop up. Dude, this Kettle One cucumber mint may change the game, bro. It looks phenomenal. I don't know if this is new. He said it was new. I've never seen it before because I've drank Kettle One before. But I'm more of a Tito's guy, but I'm going to have to try that out for sure. Keep it clean though, guys. Vodka, straight on the rocks, or water. Don't be mixing it with all these sodas and things. You always got to, in the back of my mind, I always trying to keep things healthy, right? So, got that. This is probably going to be a shorter podcast just because I really have nothing on the docket. You know, I want to talk a little bit about sports because I don't really get to talk much about it during our regular podcast. But I'm a huge sports guy, so I just want to get some of that off my chest and tell you guys how terrible my Saturday night was. I'll never forget it. What a terrible day. But man, this weekend I hope we can LSU could do some things with Georgia. That'd be a big win, man. So right now we were ranked 5th going into last weekend, and they pushed us down to 13. So it'll be number 2 versus number 13. Get this win, we'll be back in the top 10, and hopefully still in contention for the playoffs and to win the SEC West. But gotta get past Alabama. And I don't think anybody's getting past Alabama, dude. They are insanely good. If you haven't watched football, their starting quarterback hasn't even entered the 4th quarter yet because they're dominating in the game for the first 3 quarters that he doesn't have to play the 4th quarter. And we're in week 6 or 7? Yeah, so yeah, 7 games he hasn't touched the fourth quarter. So how about let's just get him into the 4th quarter LSU? That'd be a good win for us. Small goals. Trying to think what else, man, just to talk about here. Don't really have a topic, but I know some of you guys listen to this on the drive to work or wherever you're going, taking a trip, so kind of want to give you guys some good content. Let's see, I had something on my mind I want to talk about. Got it. Oh, how about baseball, man? Who likes baseball? So playoffs are on. Dude, playoff baseball is hard to beat, guys. I have it on right here. In the man cave. Playoff baseball is exciting. If you don't like baseball, I get it. You know, the regular season can be long and dragging, but dude, when it's playoff time, the crowd comes out, it gets crazy, it gets wild, and usually all the games are great. But so the Final Four, we have the ALCS with the Astros, and it's the Astros and the Red Sox. The Astros, the defending champions, and in the NL side of things, we got the Brewers and the Dodgers. So I'm really rooting for the Brewers and the Astros to come out of those two, and then it's gonna be hard to beat the Astros, man. But either one of those teams, I'll be fine with it. I'm a big baseball guy too, guys. Played in high school, and it's kind of my sport. Big baseball guy, and let's see. Man, I keep forgetting. Oh, so the next podcast. I'll preview you guys on the next podcast, and then I'll probably wrap this up before I put you guys to sleep. It's tough doing this by your freaking self in an empty man cave, bro. But hey, if you're watching the video, check out the man cave. We got some wording going on. My buddy Tom Frozzi made it back to the cave. He's not quite done. Still not done on the wall mural, but we do have the LSU helmet nearly complete. the football helmet, the baseball helmet's nearly complete, and then we have the cave behind me, which is almost complete as well. It came out really good, but he has a ton of work to do, so not quite done with that. So I'm gonna finish with our next podcast. Oh, my phone's recording. I was trying to look at my phone, but I think it's October 20, maybe the 25th is our next podcast, episode 7, and Coach Damon's actually competing in a strongman competition, which he has brought up before, on the 27th, which is the Saturday. My dates could be wrong, but near those dates. So the 27th is the strongman competition. He's been training with Jace Lopez at Apex Training with those guys, and I told him this is basically a formal invite that we need to get Jace on the podcast on October 25th, so Damon and Jace can tell us all about this strongman competition. And I want to get to learn a couple things from Jace. You know, I see him on social media and things like that, and we've never really formally met, but we would love to have him on the podcast and get some insight on his thinking and how he goes about doing things. Love seeing his social media videos, like I said, and he can give us some insight into the strongman competition going down October 27th. Definitely is different for me, that style of training, which is the things that they do, the lifts that they do using axle bar and some type of formers carry that they're doing. What else? A log press, just unconventional lifts that you wouldn't normally do in the strongman competition. So it'd be cool to get his insight and kind of talk to him about things and preview that. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Just a quick episode. Coach T breaking it down for you guys. Don't want to put you guys to sleep, like I said. Hope you enjoyed the solo podcast, first and hopefully only solo podcast. Never know though, things come up, but the reason why I did this because I don't want to let you guys down. Every other week, I want to give you a podcast, whether I'm not here, Coach Damon's not here. Shoot, if we're both not here, something's gonna go down. Maybe not in the man cave. We'll just record it some other way, in which I don't want to even think about. I don't know how to do that stuff, but definitely want to give you guys some fresh content. It's been 2 weeks, so I know you guys are thirsty for the Coach T and David V podcast. So I think I'll wrap it up there. I'll see you guys on the next episode, which will be episode 7. Hopefully talking about the strongman competition. Coach Damon will be back. We'll be ready to go. So thanks for tuning in. Peace. Out of here.